Hello, Amon here with a special announcement. Once you hear this special announcement, you'll probably be like, hey, that wasn't very special. In fact, that was kinda shitty, because we're getting screwed out of a show. Yes, sorry to say there's no show today. Just this very unspecial announcement. I had an unexpected Easter vacation, and me and Joe fell behind on recording episodes. And then my unexpected Easter vacation became unexpectedly longer. But we will be back to our regular schedule come Sunday. And we found a few other games that we still gotta catch up on, but we're pretty much back up to where we were in the middle of the B section. Big Nose was alphabetically as far as we've gotten so far. We have to catch up a few episodes on the Famicom disk system still. But we made it into the B's there with the wonderful game of backgammon. Then I also found out that a game we did do called Airwolf has a Japanese version that's a totally different game, so we gotta go back and try that one. And I also found out we missed Adventure Island 4 because that's actually a Japanese game by a completely different name. So we could use anyone's help out there. If anyone knows of any games that we skipped, we're going mostly alphabetically, except we're not doing the thing where we cut off the word the and put it at the end of the title, because that doesn't make sense to me. We're going to have a huge block in the T section where all the games that start with the word the are going to be. The more tricky thing we have to deal with is when producers try to include their production name as part of the title. Like, say we've done Aladdin, but some sources may categorize it as Disney's Aladdin. Well, you don't need to call it Disney's Aladdin, it's fucking Aladdin. But then it gets even more tricky when it's not a producer's name, and it was just a game endorsed by usually a sports player of some kind. They try to take a celebrity and just tag them on to, like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. That's the first one that comes to mind. You take Punch-Out. Now that actually was originally a game by itself and they added Mike Tyson. So there's a difference there. Think of like there's baseball games. I know I just can't think of the names of, Doobie-Doo's baseball. Battle Tank was listed with some name before it. I don't think I know what that name even was for. Was it the producer? Was it a famous tank battler? Speaking of Adventure Island, that one's sometimes listed as Hudson's Adventure Island. So alphabetizing becomes a little tricky, but if you feel we've missed a game, by all means, shout it out in the comments of a video somewhere. This video, any video. And as far as we know, once we get caught up, we'll have everything except for maybe homebrews. Homebrews are hard to track down, so as far as homebrews go, if you know of any homebrews that we could play, you'll have to basically send us a link to where we can find at least a demo of the game. We don't want to play hacks, just games that have been edited versions of other games. There's no reason to be playing that. And we actually need help finding a copy of Apple Town Monogatari Little Computer People. Everywhere I've looked online, I can't find a working copy of it. So if anyone out there can find a copy that actually plays and doesn't produce a disk error. Otherwise, it seems that one will have to wait until someday when I can actually get myself a Famicom and the Famicom disk system attachment and the converter to stick my Famicom into my Nintendo. I think yeah, there's a lot of equipment that needs to be done for me to actually play Famicom games. And speaking of equipment, we have bypassed Zapper Gun games. And any game that requires specific peripheral equipment, we want to make sure we get the authentic equipment to really play it properly. And I have a Zapper. I have a fake Nintendo. It's actually a Yobo, a cheap knockoff Nintendo. So far we have skipped 2-in-1 light game, the other 2-in-1 light game, the 3-in-1 light gun game, Baby Boomer, and a couple tricky ones. We got Trick Shooting, which is also Barker Bill's Trick Shooting, and I have a copy of that. And then we have The Adventures of Bayou Billy. So that one starts with the word the, but I do have a copy of that. I have several Zapper Gun games, but I don't have Baby Boomer. I don't have those multi-pack ones. I'm not sure even if those were released in America. I think they might be Asian games. The main thing we're missing for doing Zapper Gun games is a TV, a tube screen TV. We don't really have enough space to get a nice big tube screen TV. We need to move into a better recording studio to get that working. You may not realize this, but the Zapper Gun does not work on flat screen TVs. If anyone knows of a way to convert things so that it does work without a tube screen TV, let me know, but I'm pretty sure there is no method that exists. And if I could break away on a tangent about light guns, the NES Zapper was a great piece of technology. Now with modern technology, right, the modern advanced technology, you point at the screen and the technology tries to approximately guess where you are and where you're pointing, but it doesn't actually know where you're pointing at the screen. So that's why all games nowadays have a crosshairs, reticle on the screen, and your controller moves that reticle. You don't actually aim at the screen. If you ever try playing, like, I don't know if you can remove the HUD mode, if you can get rid of that reticle, and actually try playing by aiming down the sights of your gun, it's not going to work. Not going to work at all. What can we do about it? Nobody's going to make good Zapper Guns ever again, it seems. Maybe VR will be the solution to finally getting good guns back in your hands. Because then if the gun itself is in virtual reality and you're holding it in the virtual world, then of course you can aim it and it'll know what you're aiming at. So maybe once that technology comes along a bit better, we'll have some good Zapper technology once again. So anyhow, that was just all about letting us know what games we're missing. And Japanese, that's where we really need help, is if you know of a Japanese version of a game that's largely different from the American version, point that out to us, because generally when I'm looking for games, I'll go with the one in English and never even look at the one in Japanese. And that's why we missed Airwolf. I heard about it somewhere else that the Japanese Airwolf was a totally different game. There is nothing other than that. This is the end of the special announcement. I hope you found it as special as it could possibly be. Have a lovely rest of your life.